In this week's Parsha, vayikra, Hashem speaks to Moshe and commands him to tell Bnei Israel that an Adam, aka person, should bring a korban to him, Hashem. One question that is already pretty evident here is why does the Torah use the word Adam when it usually uses the word Ish? Thankfully, I wasn't the first person to come up with this question, and Rashi, of course, has an answer. Rashi explains that when someone brings a korban to Hashem, he should be similar to the actual Adam, as in Adam and Eve, like Adam and Chava. But what does it actually mean to be similar to Adam? Like, in what way? So, Adam was unique in that he was the only human being alive. So, he couldn't steal from others, nor could he feel jealousy by default, because there was no one else that he could be jealous of or he could steal from. So, he was like God's only child. So, just like a sacrifice from Adam, a person who goes to bring a korban to Hashem must be sure that what he is giving has no trace of theft in it. Meaning that if one stole money to obtain the korban that they're bringing to Hashem, the korban won't work, and therefore it is invalidated. So this comes from the concept of mitzvah haba ba'avera, meaning that a good deed is only accomplished from doing a bad one. So that's one thing we can learn from this week's parsha. But another lesson we could take from this parsha is the idea that we should view ourselves like Adam viewed himself. So he judged himself independent of others. At school, a lot of times, sometimes students let competition get the best of them. Luckily for Adam, competition didn't really exist, seeing as he was the only person alive besides Chava. And how could it if he was the only man in the world? Unlike Adam, we are not the only people in the world, and therefore it is way more difficult to be like that. Maybe a lesson we could take from this week's parsha is to be more like Adam in this sense. We should stop feeling competitive. I think in this week's parsha, it may have been difficult for some people to see others bringing nicer korbans and this might have sparked a sense of jealousy in people that couldn't afford as nice of a sacrifice for God or couldn't afford any korban for that matter. And this parsha really comes to teach us that if we can't overcome this competitiveness and jealousy, we might be inclined to steal or do worse things to get on those other people's levels of wealth. So we should use this idea of the korban as a metaphor. So no matter what korban you're able to offer, you should not feel any sense of competition, and it is really all about our personal relationship with God. And really, like, the main lesson we should really be taking from this parsha is that we are all in our own worlds, and the only person that's really judging us is ourselves, and we shouldn't be so susceptible to jealousy and to feelings of jealousy of other people. Thanks.